Hello YouTubers and welcome to another episode of the vlogs. Today, as you can tell behind me, we have an absolutely gorgeous day this morning. Just appreciating having a little bit of sun. Would have been great to be on the water this morning, but we have another plan. As you can probably tell from the title, we're participating in the World Virtual Indoor Sprints. So what happens with that is we go on the erg, we do a piece on the erg, we submit the score, and then see how we compare to other people. So after doing the road royalty workouts, thought we'd have a look out and see what else we could do. And I suppose this one's a good one. So it's a K, 1,000 meters on the rowing machine as fast as possible. So I'm going to try and do that and see what happens. But like I talked about yesterday at the end of the episode, today was supposed to be a half hour at rate 20. So what looks like is going to happen is a 1K at flat out. And before we get to that, I would love you to do two things, Yam Squad. Number one, if you could subscribe if you haven't already. And number two, if you could hit that like button. Both things tell me if you like this content, and it tells YouTube if you like the content too, to help push the Yam Squad worldwide. Oh yeah! But now, we're going to head to the Yam Cave in this chilly morning to get a warm up in, and then gonna send it for a K. Oh yeah. And we've made it into the Yam Cave. Charlie's on the road perfect. I'm on the static C2 doing a 1K and seeing how fast I can go, seeing how many meters I can cover in 1K. But I don't really know where I'm going with this one, because 1K is not a distance I generally do very often. So it's another opportunity to test myself, test the boundaries. So I don't want to go out at a 110 and blow up and end up at a 100, but I want to go out and give a good effort. So we'll see what ends up happening. But this one's an easy one to put on the monitor. You just hit select workout, new workout, single distance, change that to a 1, and then we start and you're off to the races. But you can change the split length, the times it takes. I'll probably just set it 200. I'm not too bothered about that. So let's set the camera down and do 1K at pace. Oh yeah!
Back. Yeah. Come on. Back. Stay back. 1 minute count. For 1 minute. Take it home at 200. Come on. Go now, Cal. Go on. 24s. Cam. 23s, go for it now. Last 15 seconds before it's not going to be anything. Come on, go, 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 go. That's it, open it. Yes, go on. Go on. Open. Huge score, Cam. Huge score. Sub 2-3. Come on.
Keeps it up.
Well, that went better, quite well, better than anticipated. I've just been in thrown up, feeling fantastic. So I went out. I wanted to a little bit of experiment with the first sort of 8 to 10 strokes. So you saw that I went quite quick out the blocks, and then sort of chilled out a little bit. But even then, I was like, well, it's only a K, so count some strokes and get to the next marker. So I was counting about 10 strokes, trying to get to 500, and then at 500, I was thinking, uh-oh. But I got to 500 and counted another 10 or 2 10s. And I thought, well, there's 300 left now, and with Charlie giving some shouts as well, like a minute left or like last 15 seconds, really helps sort of adjust it in the mind when you see sort of 300s or 400. Sometimes you can think it's a really, really long distance, but for example, I was way past halfway already, and I was just sort of finishing it off. And if it's in a 2K, same thing. If you've got last 200-300, yes, it's quite a few strokes if you're in the pain cave and going giving it some yam. But it is a small margin of the overall piece, and just finishing it off as well as you can is probably best. But now after that, it's quite early in the morning as well. Just what time is that? Just after 9. So maybe not the most ideal time for the body to just fire out a 1K. But again, the score, I'm very happy with the score actually, really happy with the score. And temperature wise, very, very cold relative to sort of the gym. Like it was 0 degrees Celsius outside. So I'll be around there and here. So that's when the warm up really comes into play, making sure you're really warm, or at least, the very least, you've got a sweat on, so that you don't go into something like this, going full blaze off the start, and then blowing up really quickly. Just the way my throat, lungs feel just now, the stinginess probably means the warm-up wasn't fantastic, but also on the side of very cold air and very harsh breathing. Getting, so since it's only a K, as you peak very quickly and then hold on, rather than a 2K for me, it's sort of a building up. Obviously we're working on that, trying to make it a bit flatter, but I'm going to warm down, which will just be a steady paddle on the rowing machine, and then get some food, because remember, food is fuel. Even after a short piece, my body will be on fire for the rest of the day essentially. And then we've got weights later this afternoon as well, so just smashing the legs. And then once I calm down a little bit, get a bit of breath, I'll kind of talk about what I was aiming for, and then why I thought that I was essentially way past that. But it's warm down time, so let's get to it. And we've made it into the house post Yam Cave, getting some food, because remember, food is fuel, and we've got an absolutely beautiful day outside. So hopefully the Yam squad, if you're in the UK, or at least this part of the UK, or at least wherever you are, you can spend time outdoors and feel the outdoors and hopefully feel a little bit of sun. But talking about sort of what my targets were, now that I've recovered and calmed down a little bit, now that I've not got that stinging in the chest and the legs and the arms and the back and the core and everything. My targets for today, I wanted to do around 250, which is a 125. And we've been working on, like you've been seeing, the deadlifts. The deadlifts, 10 by 10s, pretty heavy for me, and pushing on, basically making the legs burn during the weight sessions. And like I said, really making the weight sessions count and really going at those weight sessions hard. Which today, this is the first piece on the erg, really. I did the 1 minutes last week. I did, what else have I done? I've not done too much really on the erg high intensity wise. Post Paris, post the 2K at the World Rowing Indoor Championships. So I wasn't really sure how to approach today, but I knew that I was capable of doing around the 250 or a 125 split. I just wasn't really sure how it would feel, how I was going to approach it. So I just kind of went for it. The strategy I wanted to try out was taking the first 8 strokes harder than I usually do. Usually I pretty much take 1 or 2 strokes, get to my pace, and then go from there. But been doing a lot more reading and been doing a lot of research and talking to a lot of people. And even sort of the 2K that I went over, Alexander's 2K of the winner at World Indoors, he might have taken it a bit further than 8 to 10 strokes, but he was talking about sort of the creatine phosphate levels that are in your body that can be used in that first 8 to 10 strokes. He used it for about 40 seconds supposedly. So I just wanted to see how that would work for me, because generally I usually feel like if I do too many big strokes at the start, then it really hinders my performance in the middle and at the end. But today, I went out much bigger than anticipated. I think I hit 112 off the start, which I was thinking maybe like high teens. So that went well. But then seeing that, I was thinking, oh my goodness, I'm hitting 112s. And before the erg, I was thinking, or saying to you guys, I don't want to go out and fly and die. So when I went through the first 8 strokes, much harder than, or at least the splits were much faster than I anticipated. I'm not sure if you could see it in the actual piece, but there was definitely a shift down in pace and rhythm. But then the splits, I was anticipating seeing 25, 26, but the splits stayed at sort of 22, 23 for a good portion of that, which I was like, well, like I mentioned about sort of counting strokes going through 500, I was thinking, well, if I'm here anyway, then I might as well see how long it can last, because it was the 1K, a bit of fun, a bit of experimenting and seeing how far I could get. And then I started to feel sort of the strength that we're working on for the deadlifts, like the stinging that happens during the weight sessions, it wasn't as bad as that. So I was thinking, well, if I feel that stinging worse in the weight sessions and can still keep going, then I'm going to be able to survive this 1K. And then I knew to trust my lungs, trust the cardio, because I've already been pretty up there in the fitness kind of cardio, high intensity cardio from Paris, where I finished that 2K and the lungs were fine but the legs weren't. So it's almost as if we're working on the right things and combining, sort of working on the weaknesses and then combining the strengths. So today, very good result for the 1K. Let me know in the comments below if you're taking part in the virtual indoor rowing world rowing sprints, or if you have a target for a 1K that you would like to do eventually, what that would be. And hopefully today, seeing what I did can help motivate you to either do a 1K or any other piece. But that will be it for today's episode, Yam Squad. Going to finish up the delicious food, because remember, food is fuel. Like I said, doing a high intensity session like that in the morning is going to just throw my metabolism into high gear for a lot of the day. And it is Friday, so it's the end of the week. We're going to have a great day in this lovely weather, and hopefully you do too. And as always, Yam Squad, remember to subscribe if you haven't already, hit that like button, and I will see you tomorrow for another episode. Oh yeah!